Hi, and welcome to the Ada K Show. I am Ada K. Brown, and am currently a criminal justice major, and I'm a deaf courtroom commentator. Grab a cup of Java, and let's dive in. Hi, hello. I got a new background for tonight. Thought we might need something more peaceful. Welcome everybody to our members only live. It is been an interesting road to get here today. We've had a lot going on today. We've got a lot going on in the next couple of days. Oh my gosh. We do have Karen Reed coming up this week. We have I'm going to be on a recorded show tomorrow morning before we go live with the cemetery trial. I said it right. And I'm doing something with Court TV. So there's a lot going on. In fact, when I get done with the members only live tonight, we will be doing a recorded thing that hopefully will make it onto another stream. We've been asked to do something. I've had to engage the interpreter. So she's getting dressed and ready. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Well, it's been a while since we've done a members only live. And, I am so sorry for that. But life has been crazy with our courts lately. And with trials and doing 2 trials at one time in a day, it gets to be a little bit much, y'all. So just want to let y'all know that I haven't forgotten about you guys. And well, I had to make this a members only live. Now it depends. If we don't get a whole lot of members hopping on this morning or this evening, then I'll possibly open it up. But I have to be very careful with what I'm sharing. Yes, I'm going to talk about P. Diddy. Oh, Lord, y'all, I know I can get in trouble on that one. Oh, Lord, we got to be very careful on that one. Just can't monetize, I guess. But, I got to tell you, it's going to be interesting. Okay, I went ahead and opened it up to the public. We are going to talk a little bit about P. Diddy because some people want to know what some of the things are. Anyway, I will have to. Oh, well, hi, Debbie. Hey. There are your comments. Oh, my parents just got to be great grandparents. Woohoo. Hey, Debbie. Hello, it's Britt. I'm not going to cover him, but there's been a lot of questions about. There've been a lot of questions about the baby oil. We're going to talk about baby oil tonight, y'all. And I got to keep this because I just took it off of members only live because a lot of my people that watch a lot are not necessarily able to be members. And I thought, well, I might as well let you guys know I'm live. I told someone I'm live. I got my fingernails done. Look at them. Nah, they're nothing fancy. but they're nice because I'm gonna be signing and talking later tonight, and I'm gonna have an interpreter with me. So, yep, and I'm getting ready for the Karen Reed trial because I'm gonna be interpreting a lot of that and not taking as many notes, but I want you to see this. Let's talk Karen Reed for a minute. This is my notebook of all my notes from the Karen Reed trial. It's a book. The hills are alive in Tennessee. These are the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee, not an average view, but it is of the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee. I have a young man that I've had on my show, and he did his podcast, and we did a green screen. I do have a green screen. Uh, see, green. That we did, and I just haven't had a chance to take it down. Karen Reed. Oh my gosh, y'all. Oh, I'm going to be a guest on Tanika's tomorrow morning before we go to court. I'm going to record a show with Tanika. Aw, thank you so much. My birthday is March 26th. Mhm. We will be doing a birthday live. I will be doing that. Um, but this live is not for kids. This live is for adults only. Why does it not show how many people I'm got watching my live? It's weird. I got 0 viewers. That is so weird, y'all. Let me I don't know why. I know I got viewers or well, because I gotta do this recording and, my son was so kind. I've gotta do this recording, and so, tonight, so I needed to have my nails done. Okay, well, I don't care. I got me up and going. I'm gonna take it off. Well, am I s well, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. I if you guys if you want me to talk frankly, you need to be on the members only. But since we got people who are not members only, I'm gonna talk about it, but I'm gonna have to be a little more discreet about it, if you understand what I mean. Okay, I went ahead and switched it to public because we only have 1 or 2 members, so, um, but I'm still gonna talk about P. Diddy. See, now the number's up there. I'm gonna still talk about P. Diddy. Now, what was P. Diddy's name, or what did he go by in 1994? Oh, does anybody know? Puff Daddy. That's right. Sean Combs was born in 1969. He's 2 years older than me. His stage name is Diddy, formerly known as Puff Daddy and P. Diddy. He is an American rapper, and he's in a whole hell of a hot lot of trouble. Well, a lot of people were kind of wondering what in the heck was he doing at these parties that would warrant him to have 1,000. Where did my hearing aids go? Testing. Uh-oh. Well, as long as you can hear me, I'm good. There we go. P. Diddy. Now, I known him as Puff Daddy. Freak offs. That is right. What is a freak off? I know. I can't tell you how I know. And I am saying it with a smile on my face. Yeah, no. Basically, now mind you, I've got to be very careful with how I say things. So read between the lines, okay? It's when someone as famous as he is who decides that he's going to have a concert or he's going to have something in a town. I'm from San Antonio, we'll say San Antonio, which he did. And he's in San Antonio and he's going to be there for 2 nights and he's going to be doing a concert, right? Well, what he would do would have big parties called freak offs. And they could potentially, now this is very loose talk here, but you can read between the lines. They would purchase entire floors of hotels. Mhm. And sometimes, depending on the size of the hotel, most of the hotel would be purchased. And then they would call these places that are like escort services. Mhm. But the escorts are not really wanting to be there willingly. Sometimes they did call the escort services as well because they needed a lot of women. And, each room would have a theme or, there would be a girl in each room or a boy, and adult activities would happen, okay? Are you reading between the lines? The adult activities would happen. Yeah. So, hi, Amy. We're talking about a very hot and very adult topic. So if this is too much for you, please, it's okay to leave. So what happens in these freak offs is it's basically like but almost the size of a hotel and sometimes would last for multiple days. Everyone's going, "Why did he have all the baby oil?" Well, have you guys ever and I can't show this video because I'm not no longer on a members only live, but let's just say they would have twerking competitions, without on, and, they would pour the oil all over the backside of the person doing the twerking, and oh, yes, without consent most of the time. "Are you sure you're an adult, Amy?" No, I'm kidding. But a lot of people don't realize that when they're just pouring they would put blow up sometimes, if it wasn't in the shower or bathroom, blow up pools in the middle of the living room, and they would start pouring the oil, y'all. It is insane. And, of course, unfortunately, a lot of those girls were forced to be with more than one friend a night, and, of course, a lot was used for that as well. But, oh my gosh. Uh, okay. Are you talking about the in Conroe, Texas? So, anyway, these were very big X that's the sign for shave is like this, but yeah, parties, and, They were very brutal, and a lot of women did not come out of there in very good condition. This was happening as early as, I think, around 1994, um, maybe even a little earlier, but at least 1994. I remember when he, um Puff Daddy, as how I know him, came into San Antonio. Aw. So, the the thing is and here's the sad thing. It's one thing if you wanna have a swingers night and everybody is there willingly and everybody's happy to be there and everybody wants to do whatever's going on. Unfortunately, a lot of the girls there were brought there by their johns or the, organization in which they were employed by as escorts. Now, some of them were willing participants, a lot of them were not. And the sad thing is that I can't believe when a hotel and the hotel knew about it. These hotels, they talk, especially the kind of hotels where these guys would stay. They weren't the $5, $10, $15 a night hotels. These hotels were very high-end hotels. And what bothers me are these hotels, they knew what was happening and they didn't do anything. Um, these poor girls and young men, there were young men too, um, that were at these events were forced to be involved in these activities, and the hotels knew exactly what were going on, at least the upper management did. And not only that, there were times where maids would go in and girls and or people would be sound asleep on the floor, not even clothed. There was a lot of self-medicating going on. There was a lot of alcohol. There was a lot of brutality. Nothing was off limits. And then sometimes, they had themes, so if you were into this, you go over there. If you were into that, you go over there. So it was really brutal, and so some people have asked, "Why will I not cover him?" Well, number 1, I don't wanna give glory to what he did. It's really a shame, and the sad thing is even if he didn't participate in it back then and when they were doing this, it was expected, and he wasn't the only one doing it. There were a lot of rappers back then and a lot of I can't say rappers, musicians and entertainers back then that were doing these kinds of shows. So that to me was just very, very, very common to happen. No, it won't be. And do you know what? I wouldn't want this live stream because it is going to be horrific when some of these witnesses get up and testify as to what happened to them and how, they were treated and what they had went through, and I would not want that publicized because it does 2 things. Number 1, they get re-victimized when they get on the stand. I know I've been there, and then if it's televised, it not only re-victimize 'em sorry, it not only re-victimizes them, but it also gives glory and it also, the freaky ones out there in this world will watch the trial to get all excited, if you follow my meaning, and, I don't think it needs to be. It's just too sensitive of a topic. I think maybe when they give the verdict, it would be nice for it to be on live, but I don't think these witnesses need to be or should be even anywhere near, that courthouse, where there's a camera, in my humble opinion. Um, you know, I understand that there is a desire out in the media and social media and in law and crime and, all the people who are in our world would love to see the legalities of this and the court proceedings of this, but I have to say, I wouldn't, even if it was live, I would not do it at all. Wouldn't do it. I don't wanna be traumatized again, and I have my own reasons for that, and I don't want anybody else being traumatized the first time, second time, the 11th time, the 10th time. But P. Diddy and his oil, it really wasn't for him specifically, but each room had so many bottles of oil, but they would have these twerking competitions with no clothing on, and, they would have these, bend over like a sawhorse when they put the rubber tub or the little blow up tub or the plastic swimming pool things in the middle of the living room floors, and they put down like a tarp, and then they put that down, and they would bend over kinda like a sawhorse type thing, and then they would twerk, and they would pour the oil all over their backside. They liked it shiny. That's one of the things they did with it, but, um, people just don't know how sick some of these people are out there, and I don't know how much that he did himself participate, but I gotta quit because I'm gonna be live all night. I'm gonna be recording all night. Hi, baby. So, it is a very big perversion. It really is, and it's horrific, and it's very demeaning to the women and, degrading, and they didn't wanna be there, the majority of them. Or they thought they were just going to a cool party and not knowing once in the door, that party was gonna turn into what it did, and then they couldn't leave, and then that's considered being trafficked because they couldn't leave. They were held against their will and forced to participate in things that they would not normally participate in, and they did so probably in hopes of being able to go home at the end of the night. So the problem is we as society, I believe, have allowed famous people like P. Diddy and other famous people to get away with certain behaviors because they're famous. And in the hotel industry, it irritates the hell out of me that they sit there and promote and allow this behavior. They turn a blind eye. They know these girls are coming in or what we call girls or escorts or whatever you want to name them. They know all that's happening. So why are they permitting it? They're not calling the police. They know what rooms they go into. I mean, there are men and women, not very many, but there are, who call for a escort to an event, and they don't wanna go alone, and they call down the concierge, and they tip them well, and then when that and they go, "Oh, sure, we'll get somebody right up to you." And within an hour, there's somebody there, and they get a big tip, and they make a kickback not only from the person ordering the date for the night, but also the company in which they call gives them a kickback. So a lot of these guys that are working in your bellhop or your concierge people in the hotels, they make money off of booking, knowing where to find anything. If you want something, the place to find it is the concierge. They know where it is. If it can be got for the right price, they will get it to you. And that's scary. And but nobody ever holds them accountable. So when it comes to P. Diddy, all this stuff it all was set up, of course, weeks in advance or months in advance. So when he goes into, say, Chicago and he's going to be there for a couple of days and he's having a concert, he'll have a freak off while he's there. And I just think it's absolutely ridiculous. And the fact is that there's no way that hotel did not know what was going on. Because when you have that many women walking in with one or two men we're talking 10 to 15 women per man type ratio. Something's going down. And Jay-Z, yep. Yeah, that's the other thing that a lot of these women, um, however they got out of the industry, got out. A lot of these women were working willingly, but then were not permitted to escape it. And so that becomes from exploit to trafficking. But it's just a very devastating thing to women and some men as well. And there were, I'm sure, underage as well. And so, but everybody's looking at him. But what I want to look at is the whole industry as a whole. I mean, even back in the day, and I'm sure even now, well, you'd have couch auditions when you were an actress, and you were expected to put out in order to be in a movie, to even be considered, not even to get the part. That wasn't meaning you were gonna get the part. That's just to get the audition, you would give out something, and then, when you get to the powers that be, a lot of times they would expect you to give out, put out, a lot of times saying, "Oh, there's gonna be an intimate scene, and we want you to see how comfortable you are in front of a camera on an intimate scene." And they would sit there, and the girls would have to put out in the lieu of being, considered for this movie when in actuality they weren't gonna be. And, couch auditions, yeah. Why have we as society permitted and allowed that to continue? That is my question. And then it's not until we get to something like the level of P. Diddy do we then understand what's happening behind doors. Y'all, we know what's happening. We just close our eyes to it. Well, not me, we, but in society. It it reminds me, my first job I had was working at Monty Biggs Blue Ribbon Burgers. Wonder if they're still around. And the manager, I'd never worked anywhere before. Um, I'm Googling them. Texas, you say, okay, there was a company name, November 1986, forfeited their existence. So the company had a problem and they closed down, but they were in San Antonio. And I went to apply for a job there. It was 38 years and 3 months, but they are no longer, um, they're no longer in existence. But, um, I had an interview with the manager. Now, I was coming from church. I had a dress on. The skirt when I'm standing up came to just my knee. I had pantyhose on, a little those flats. I had a cute little top. And I remember getting up to leave, and he said, "I hope you realize that I'm taking a risk on you, and I only hired you because you have beautiful legs." I was 16 at the time, and I knew it didn't feel right, but I didn't know that what he was saying was so freaking inappropriate. So, I mean, society gets away with that all the time. It is the norm, Amy. It is the norm. And I didn't stay there too long, but then I started to work at a place called Grandy's, which sold fast food, country fried chicken, country fried steaks, things, and I won't begin to tell you what happened there. But, um, society just we don't stand up against it enough. And if we as women or men, it can happen to men too, it does, stands up and say, "That's not acceptable, and I'm reporting you," because we would never get hired. And that's part of the problem is if you report it, number 1, you're a whistleblower. Number 2, Um, you know, they don't wanna believe you because they're afraid of lawsuits, and it's like 9 to 5. Dolly Parton's 9 to 5. That is exactly what I'm talking about, and guess what, guys? It's still out there today, and everybody is up in arms over this thing. Hi, Candace. Everybody is up in arms over P. Diddy or Puff Daddy as I know him. I called him PD. Yes, I have met him. Um, but, um, him and these freak offs and the baby oil and the X and the parties, the drugs, the alcohol, the whole thing, it didn't start with him. He was not the first to do it. In fact, he probably was told, "This is what's expected of you," and that doesn't surprise me if that happened. "Hey, out and about with Diane." That is probably what happened because, see, when you go into that business as a young kid and he was 60 he's born in '69, he's only 2 years older than me. Um, yeah, well, I don't do taxes. I pay someone for that. So, but the thing is that what's horrifying is that thank you, Candace. The horrifying thing is that this guy who was a young rapper who uh, was being groomed by other people in the industry of what he should and shouldn't do. I mean, he wasn't a 22-year-old rapper saying, "Hey, I want to have a freak off." Uh, I bet this grew from small, intimate parties and got bigger and bigger and bigger. Oh, thank you for being on the replay crew, Jesse. And they got bigger and bigger over time. And the more they got away with it, my hair is doing. I got to go do my bangs before the show tonight. The other thing I'm doing tonight. Hi, Kelly. So when P. Diddy is sitting here doing all of this stuff, I think back at how did it start? And it probably started with him going to other rappers and other rock stars or other people that he looked up to after the shows and concerts and the what they call the afterglow parties, and learned from them what was expected. And come on now, we know what groupies are. Why do you think they exist? They've been around for years. It's just unfortunate that it has gotten so out of control. And Hugh Hefner, oh my gosh, I can appreciate his business sense 100%. That guy had business sense. And he did bring us out of an era where X was it's so secreted and hidden. And I mean, on one hand, education is important, but he created these big lavished parties, and people would go in almost in pajama parties, so there's very little there. He would pay women to come in and they'd paint their bodies with paint and they'd have nothing on but paint. I mean, look at the TV show he had and all of that, and it became a normal, acceptable thing in society. So then when we find somebody like P. Diddy out there who's doing what he was probably groomed and taught to do, or he was exposed to, thus thought was normal and safe to do, even though illegal he may have thought it was. It's only illegal if you were not consenting. If you consented, it's legal. Okay, I want to say that right now. There were a lot of people there that it was illegal and a whole lot more that were legal. But when are we as society going to start holding these people who are stars, idols, accountable and stop allowing them to be our moral compass? Exactly. Oh, the Playboy Mansion had it until near his death, but, um, yeah, exactly. But the thing about the Playboy parties were as one thing about Hugh Hefner, and I will say this, met the man and some of the girls. Once again, I had a photography food studio in San Antonio, and I had a contract with the city and with the event center. So when people came into town of that caliber, a lot of times I was the inside photographer for the event. And so I met a lot of people. Um, but one thing about Hugh Hefner was it was always consensual. Nobody was ever there against their will. And if somebody said, I want to leave, and so and so wouldn't let me leave, he would take care of that. No, I hadn't been to any of those events. But he came into San Antonio and they'd have parties and award ceremonies, or they would uh, be here for some other person they wanted to see and that kind of stuff. But once again, I think it gets back to our society. And for me, that is so frustrating because on one hand, it's okay. We pay. All right, let's talk about Super Bowl. Some they told me I Googled it and the best S I can get, the average ticket, the median between the lowest and the highest was 12 to $13,000 a ticket. Okay. And a lot of these people would have parties and hire people for fun nights. I'm going to call it fun nights. And they would hire people, they would bring in companies that would bring in women and I guess some guys against their will. And they didn't care whether it was with or against, as long as you were there, you were free game. Why are we paying for events like going to P. Diddy's concerts or going to rock concerts or sporting events and whatever? Now, don't get me wrong. NFL as a whole is not responsible for what individuals who work within the NFL do. I get it. But my point is why are we paying the money we're paying knowing that these stars like P. Diddy are taking that money and having this event? Y'all, if you buy a ticket to P. Diddy's concert, you paid for that. How does that make you feel? How does it make you feel? To think that your $150 ticket that you paid for and you went and enjoyed the concert and went home, had dinner, maybe you were at a hotel that night, you were out of town, you had a great weekend, you went and had a wonderful dinner before or after. Your money was spent on people who were forced to go and participate in X activities. Think about it. Show of hands here. How many of y'all gone to rock concerts or something like a P. Diddy? I don't care who it is. They have groupies and members of the band. It may not be the artists themselves. It could be members of the band. It could be members of the electrical team, the lighting, the sound. Oh, hello, it Barrett. Congratulations. You have been a member for Thank you so much for being a member for 7 months. I love and appreciate you, babe. How many of us have gone to these events and people who work or are tightly close to these events do this? Janet Jackson, I guarantee you members of her band. Well, Christian concerts, but you know what? And I'm going to fix this hair before it drives me crazy. And don't get me wrong, I've been to Christian groups and stuff, but you got to understand that the people working those Christian concerts are not all Christian. After we get off this live, before I go do that recording, I have got to fix. I can't look at the camera and do it because Everything's reversed for the camera. Um, Billy Joel, I went to YouTube. YouTube. That was my first concert, Kenny G. Then I photographed a ton of concerts. I've seen pretty much anybody from Madonna to Kenny Rogers to Dolly Parton to Led Zeppelin to whatever. Um, I guarantee you that those guys that are working those will hook up with people too. It's not just the actual performer, it's the industry, and that's what I'm having a problem with. It does? Good, because I gotta film something for Court TV tonight. I'll let y'all know if it actually goes anywhere, but I've been asked to do something. Your mom pulled you out. So, oh, thank you so much, Debbie. I appreciate it. But it is so disheartening. I understand that people are so up in arms over the P. Diddy thing, but what about, yeah, you wanna say why she pulled you out? Um, but P. Diddy is not doing anything different than a lot of others. I'll be honest. He's the only one that's gotten caught to this level. Now, there are women who are jumping in on this boat saying, "Oh, back in 1994 when he was starting, or back in 1999, I went to the concert and this happened." Well, the problem is they had so many self-reporting about women who had been to these freak offs that they had to stop taking them in on witnesses. There was way too many. They have 100 and that's where they stopped. I also feel that there are a lot of people out there who can say, "Yeah, I went there. Here's," some people have scrapbooks with tickets and they can say, "Here, look at my scrapbook. I got a ticket from this concert. And guess what? I was there, so maybe I can get in on this lawsuit and make some money." I call those writers. They're riding on the coattails of somebody else. And that to me is a little bit uncool. So, unfortunately, things are happening far more than what we realize. And on top of that, um, let me just do this real quick. It is so much more commonplace than what we believe or think. It really is. And it just frustrates me when people are acting as if this has never happened before. I'm all like, yeah, it happens every weekend. What P. Diddy was doing is happening this very weekend, y'all. Oh, 20th anniversary tours are cool. Yeah. So why did she pull you out, Miss Penny? You wanna tell them why? So, um, anyway, I just wanted to say that I am very concerned about these young girls who go to these concerts because, believe it or not, a lot of girls go to these concerts and they actually have men in the audience whose sole purpose is to find women for the afterglow party. They used to call them afterglows. For the freak off for the parties that are groupies or starstruck young women, Sensei, go. Starstruck young women who will do almost anything to meet the star. And it's like, "Oh, we'll take you backstage and you can meet him, and but we're gonna have a party after, and I'm gonna have a very happy ending." And I think that is so wrong. And so these girls who were underage, who were not wise enough or been exposed or taught what is appropriate and not appropriate, unfortunately go to these places and come home without their virginity. And they're too embarrassed and too ashamed to tell their mother or their father. Some of them will. Um, but the problem is they don't even know who the person was because they have what they call their scouts. It's horrible. That's the dark side, like the football thing I said earlier about the Super Bowl. There's a dark side to everything. And I just hope that number one, that if you have a young daughter or son and they go to these concerts, number one, you go. They stay within your eyesight. And if you see somebody talking to them that has a pass hanging and your child did not approach them to ask where the bathroom was, they were approached by that person, even if they say, "Hey, we're gonna get you on stage." No, don't let them do it. Oh, okay. But no, seriously, um, I cringed at what I saw at these concerts. And it got to the point that I decided not to renew my contract because it was horrible. Because I would have to stay afterwards and take pictures with the people backstage, the ones that pay for the backstage pass, the legit people, and take their photos. And then I give the film. Back then, we didn't have digital, it was film. And so when you entered into the event and went through security, they would write down number of rolls of film and they searched everywhere. They even scanned, um, and then at the end of the night, you had to turn in every single one of those rolls to the event coordinator. And they would give me some of the pictures that I took, and it didn't hit till later. I'm sorry. It was a little delayed on my end, Debbie, but thank you. Um, but it was one of those things that, yes, I had a good portfolio, but I didn't have control over the negatives because once I gave it to them, it was theirs. But I saw the grooming, I saw the scouts, I saw all that. And after about a year of it, I just said no. So, guys, it's almost 8:30. I've gotta go film another, thing. I'm gonna be talking about O.J. Simpson, and I don't know if it's gonna be used by Court TV or not, but we'll see. But I have to go meet up with the interpreter, and we've gotta get this done so I can be back here tomorrow morning. We start at 11 AM tomorrow morning. Now, tomorrow morning at 9 AM, I will be filming a show with Tanika, and it'll air later. And, so yay, I'm excited. I'm excited. Thank you guys all for being here. Now, you guys, we have 6 entries, we have 11 likes. Let me refresh it. If you hit the thumbs up in the comments, thank you, Be Blazy, BL Blazy. Thank you. If you hit the thumbs up, please comment ILIKED, just like I'm getting ready to pop up. So it will be in the giveaway because in about 2 minutes, I'm going to do the giveaway. How do y'all like this background? I don't like the green screen line. It kind of moving. I'm not too fond of it. Out and about with Diane. Right now we're on the Simitilli trial. I don't know what's coming up after that. I'm going to look into that tomorrow and start planning the rest of this week and next week. I am really prepping for the Karen Reed trial because I showed it earlier, but I'll show it again. This was every page in here. If you notice, each tab is a day. Each one of these is a day. And I have the charts. It's bringing it out. I have the witness list. I have everything Karen Reed in this binder. but 99.9% of this thickness are the notes on every witness. We will be on the hearing on Tuesday. But this is all witnesses' testimony. And so I am prepping because my goal is to interpret the Karen Reed trial in the morning, and then in the afternoon, when my interpreter is free from her other job, she'll hop on and do some interpreting in the afternoon. And then I'll have to go back and watch at night the witnesses and write notes. So it is going to be a very intense time for me. Oh, honey, that was the first big trial I ever had. And I mean, I took notes. And let me tell you, I am looking forward to seeing who gets on the stand and what they say, because I'm going to be comparing them. And I have a cheat sheet that says who testified on what day, and I can just turn straight to it and have their testimony right here. And I will have it up here, and I will say, wrong. They didn't say that last time. Last time they said this. Well, be blazy. Do me a favor. Are you on my Discord? Mod, can you throw up a Discord, please? If there's a mod, please instant message me. Well, maybe I can just screenshot it. Let me try and do a screenshot of this conversation. There we go. I was like, there, I got a better one of me. So I will look into going into the mushroom poisoning. I've heard a little bit about it. It's in April. But the problem is Karen Reed's supposed to start April 1st. Now, honesty, I think April Fool's is a fool, because I don't think it's going to go that way, especially we'll know tomorrow. Everything will be determined tomorrow. I think tomorrow will be a determining factor. I know, right? I know. Well, let me tell you, the Karen Reed trial is going to get cray cray. It's going to go cray cray, but I think tomorrow, Tuesday, will be a telltale as to whether or not we're going to go to trial. I will tell you that I'm going to hold some stuff back, because I'm going to talk to, I'm going to be talking to Tanika, and I've got some of my own insights and some of my own observations, and some of my own predictions that I'm going to be talking about. So when that gets recorded, I'll try and see if I can do a live, and I'll put it up here live, and then I'll pause and talk to you guys about what we shared. Okay, guys, I want to say thank you so much for everything that y'all have done for me this past year. It has been a joy. I'm excited for what this year is going to hold for us. I am looking forward to Karen Reed and growing my channel, because y'all, that is what I really need to do. In order for me to have an interpreter full time, I've got to be able to give them money. So the bigger my channel gets and the more income I get, the more super chats I get, the more I can actually pay for an interpreter. I know. I know. Well, and here's the thing. Starting in middle March, comments from my members will be shown, but I will not be showing as many comments unless they're super chatted. And the reason why is because with the Karen Reed trial, I'm going to be signing. And that is a lot of brain power and physical work to be signing 10, 12 hours a day. So if you have a comment that you want to get seen, then it will have to be a super chat. Some of the comments from my members will go up if it's pertinent, but my hands are up in the air. I can't do all this other stuff. So I am training another person. I need 2 people. I need 2 more to come in and do the Discord. Do the StreamYard. So let's go for the drawing. Let's get the drawing going. And then let me get the Gabby! Hoo-hoo! You won it. We're going to draw one more time. We're going to do a double one because it's a members, well, it was supposed to be members only live, but I opened it to everybody. So we'll do it again. we'll have 2 winners tonight. Be Blazy! Yay! You were a winner tonight. That's it. I can't do it all. And so, with that, I'm gonna be interpreting. I need to have 2 people in the background, 2 people in my, StreamYard to pop up the questions and run the StreamYard. I have 1 mod that I'm training. I have a second one I'm getting ready to train. So they can sit there and I can say, "Mod, I need question this," or I can tell them what to do vocally while I'm interpreting, and they're gonna be running this. That's the goal. Now let's see if it happens. Okay, guys. Blessings. Appreciate you. Love you. I got to get off because I got to get this other video done and I got to be able to get back tomorrow. And my interpreter's on the East Coast and I pulled her butt out of bed. So I got to go. With that, thank you everybody for watching me. Please come over to As the Gavel Drops. We will be live 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, probably 10:45-ish, 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. For the Similitili trial, it's starting to get really more interesting, and we still have more people that are gonna testify against her, I believe. We'll see what happens. Aw, thank you, love. But, you're such a sweetheart, babe. So, we've got a busy week ahead. I look forward to seeing y'all on Monday. Oh, tomorrow morning? Okay, guys. Be blessed. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I hope you have an awesome day. Till next time, take care.